The American not available for selection at the moment due to injury. They hope they'll be back the other side of the November international break when Milan take on Inter in the derby. Test for these of the season, and again they went pretty close to upset in 40 go up against the champions Napoli. They only lost 32 in that game, so we will have some hope of forcing an upset. Now they have already been here in one, albeit that was on the opening weekend when Milan was still finding their feet under a league lead. Well, all the sheet now. The Modric is certainly leading the way, the Croatia legend. So we are out on target at the Marathon. Will be no call of you getting on tonight. Gilardino knows the stadium very well. He's being played for Milan for 3 seasons. Long after the turn of the new millennium, and was part of the side that won the 2007 Champions League. A pretty good job taking Genoa back into the top side. Now has an opportunity again, and it's there after Zaghi asked Pisa to take over at Palermo in the summer. So far, he's yet to win a game in any this season. Milan making their opponents wait. Not whether it's a psychological ploy, but so he leads to be. Let out reluctantly, they're on their way out. Some more on the bench this evening, but Vigneault, as the captain, leads her out. Games the other side of this one, full me down there in Bergamo, Italy. And then they entertain Roma here 9 days from now. Final match before the November international break. Takes them with South Beatty to tackle Parma. All of the chatter in the media is about Milan fully clear at the top. Like Allegri sees tonight's match against Pisa as anything but the formality. Rossoneri begin the weekend into as league leaders, while Pisa are bottom and winless. The visitors hope to take the lead out of Cremonese's book with victory and their top flight return to San Siro. Friday night football under the lights. Allegri against Gilardino, Milan Pisa. These two will have to do it alone this evening. Most supporters here, 4,000 had 4 tickets, 4,000 were expected to travel, but I'll show you the SerieA industry, which is to create a plan on easy supporters and traveling. Away games for the next 3 months, the then goes for Corona afterwards finding clashes ahead of us who can install the score at the Arena Garibaldi. Selectively makes 2 changes to the 11 that began Sunday night with the Fiorentina. De Vinter makes the first league start for Milan with Tabori rested. Atukame also dropped out of the side. So the Lenes Pavas pass on the yell and attacks. Mako shuttles across to the right. Once again, it's a very short bench. 2 goalkeepers, Serra Chama and Pitarella plus Jit. And on with his Sara. So a good job. He picks out here. And if Milan don't want to win the league, might be to a pay rise. In a way, he's reverted in the close season. 2 pity plenty. Down serves. Player sales. The friendly ups in bowlings are the likes of Madik Chow and Samuel Chukwueze amongst others. They've also spent intelligence. They need that at a pop ball. They still got the biggest piece of recruitment right. Do you return about Igri? Arachulo and many other respective captains tasked with getting the opposition out. And Arachulo by the old centre back. And you're one of the world's best goalkeepers. Lukatsufadli is that man in the middle this evening, joined there by Giuseppe Pollu, our sort of official. We've got Matteo Carrillo, meantime. So just up the road, possibly answer. He's on it. The international broadcast editor, he's our video assistant referee. Jalapino makes 4 alterations from Disa's goal straw to Verona. Ponfanti comes back in on the last while Dune returns on suspension. There are opportunities further forward for Tramoni and Meister, but that's a partners and violent in sort out. Good sound. Oxabosh scorched Latino on the bench, including Kusadam Quadrado. Son of Yui thereof, son of Chichi. Quadrado's former teammate. Viano Galliani is here. Serious spectator. Was so many successful Milan sides of the past. Oh. The cushion at the SerieA summit stands at 1 point for Milan. At kickoff, come full time, it took me up to 4. Yeah, up and running at San Siro and De Vinstra immediately. Seating out Santi de Medes. Reminder, the opportunity this weekend for Milan especially. It's Napoli Inter tomorrow night at 6. Now see it enters to come on Sunday evening. Inside out. Selecting Samiro in support. He's all in white this evening. Stroll out the old note for his son was Real Madrid, where he was a teammate. He also lived the much extra season. Actually, 40-somethings on the pitch tonight. Forward by Canacciolo. Controlled by Insoda. Deflated off easily there. Just had an against Simon Tramoni. Neki already has something to grumble about. Top Julie sucks into any of the media's games. He's consistently the drop. The Saga this is to finish minutes up forward to qualify once again for the Champions League, which she describes as the loss of Eddie's natural habitat. Good luck, Dino knows that all too well. Indeed, part of Robert Boltring European side under Ancelotti. Looked very fond of his time here. In the interview with Palace Media, logistical issues prevented him from up to your press conference. Issue. Now Fofana. Saranak is that he got in. The old straight to Fofana, Jimenez. On a curious decision. Assume Liao was in close attendance. Stazati doing fine for Liao. Pressing nine, give it away. Thoughts by Modric, reaching on the same page. Samiro releasing. Then Zola. Sweden to Belgium. Stood enough. Smashed also did for the Diablo Horde. Sarah Nyquist of Cody de Vincent. Modric. Some more assured pass. Fofana. Saranakis. They'll sit back on Sotha, at least intended to. He's pressing well early on here. Liao. Samiro doing the tidy, yeah. They're on loans from Peter. Constanti. Scarjo. Triterici. Salanakis. But up to make a fast start. They have negative memories of a season out there against Cremonese. Now feel Liao. Fisa Jimenez. It's the positions which he scored. He fires against Fiorentina Liao. And he made the point that whilst he started again as centre forward, it was actually once he moved to second striker by the introduction of Jimenez off the bench that got his 2 goals. Another space pass by Luka Modric. Zola turned down Tramoni, but he releases Maestra. Modric is there to help out, but these are carrying a threat transition. This time, Modric was fouled by Zola. Smite game. Sketchy start. The Solma Ballon d'Or winner. Christian Pulisic received that the award for SerieA Player of the Month of September. There you can see Lautaro Martinez from the other side of Milan. As many all contributions as hit. 3 seasons. The Circini Civis. Borghese did wear a match to pose with the award. 3 maps alongside Giorgio Fablari to SerieA. So too did Allegri on receiving September award for Kumshinalan. Shaw Liao meant to find Pavlovic there. Been a little bit scruffy of inside the only side minutes. Must do some other reductive suggestions that because Milan are in Europe this season, we play 1 game a week. Therefore, them title favourites. Napoli wholly just won the Scudetto in the same SerieA last season, holding off Limsa by a point. Then later, it's from his early experience with Juventus in his second spell that he'll guarantee if you don't have European football, but you will necessarily try domestically. The foul by Joshua coming in on Sofana. Benedai says Allegri, okay. Going essentially. He's holding a line on the edge of their box. Luch being told he would be offside if he remains there. Make it short to Modric. Someone at each hit. Liao. Press of Liao. Twist of Joel. He's tied again. Jane Torner has a get Fiorentina. More Tuscan opposition tonight. And more of the same from Rafa Liao. Behind his orb with Pulisic injured, and Milan needed. And what a start it is. Ball that also there. Free kick taken short. Ricci only had eyes for Raphael. Once he got his side there, he knew that Kemper couldn't do much. He had to wait for runners across his eye line. Pavlovic played a big part in the goal. Once more is the quality. And with Milan's main man, Raphael. Then he has the spree back at his stead. Having a check as to whether it was a Milan player interfering with play in an offside position. All Saps in a lead, and San Siro continue to cheer. I think he will know that it's Ichiban is the ability of the Milan once again win the size of the most valuable player in 2021-22 when Milan were last champions. Felix Allegri. He was the first one to point out with press comments. Did says also the certain forecast Milan TV who said needs to do away with his studio against newly promoted sides. It was a clear reference to losing on the opening weekend here to Cremonese. Amazed their only defeat this season. It was stunned by goals from the two Federicos. You don't want to sorry. He saw also Kim SerieA for the second tier, but it doesn't look like this game. He's done 30 efforts. He's going to follow the same script. Jimenez. Saranakis. 17 minutes just offside. The 6th injury certainly gives an opportunity for Santi Mendes to get a run in the side. Yeah, it's already shown that he's more than Chatham all and Fadl willing to step up. My 4 goals this season, 3 of them in SerieA. So strike against Bari. We shouldn't forget he spent much of the early portion of the campaign on the sidelines due to injury. Delivers Biao. Stuff that has time. Ricci. I think there's time. Ricci. Then he just seemed to get a little bit too close to the ball with his standing leg. That's why he quite generate the power. Step inside was beautiful. Difficult for Pisa, especially when you consider Von Thor game is without scoring across all competitions. 3 of those in SerieA, plus the narrow defeat to Torino in second round of the Cup. A mistake by Modric. Last time Pisa did score was a late goal from Brazilian Yora. As the bench on his debut at Napoli. Turned out to be a fine goal thriller, and it didn't shoot on Napoli. They were beaten here by Milan. Leicester again. Goals of Saranakis and Pulisic. Bofada, Saranakis out. Duzaki wants it on the far side. Duzaki and De Kane. I'm not sorry, mate. Much, if any contact. He get a touch. Hence why Milan get the throw. Not a best Duzaki impressing. So expect him to start too many games, despite the new pasture as Theo Hernandez, but an ankle injury to therapies to Stupinianos affording him sustained run in the side. Gambia had to hurry there. An objective clammed up from Duzaki. The Milan senior manager there, Tyler we saw earlier, they bring in a bit more Kada. Munson saw an all-star cast of injured talent currently unavailable. within a particular for Adam Yasharin, who recruited at great expense to rate the secret of his desire to join Milan. Such a bad figure early on. Here's Tremoni with the pace. Tremoni's done well here. Who's out there was in the right place. Salamakers. Inunting Downser. Salamakers finds Yao, and this is where he's dead yet. After Zag gives support, Yao decides to slam on the brakes. Upwards. That's to Zaki. It's out by Albiol. The level high there from Bisatsurer. Winter. Sanakus. And is calling threat. Service with Fofanal, the Yao. Straight to Akin Sanmiro. It's where Pisa can help Milan get it right. And so I'll keep his balance. Amoni can sign him again though. It's still the pace took Matteo Tramoni. Just a few moments to go, however. That's Zaghi. Just anything by Touré, just stepped across past Zaghi, went shoulder to shoulder. And SerieA, the Sun finds in so loud, holding it up well. So good switch of play. Bonsansu Yerks there. She does. Bonsansu. So whether that was a cross or a shot either way, it was stretching. It's just good as endings from the German. These sides are red. So Shemtep give us on its way. There's always going to be a challenge. Nobody would have thought. It's 4,000 Pisani to experience this atmosphere, especially when you consider the last time these are just sent here to play, in the top flight, January 1991. It's so long ago that Daniele Nassara scored the early goal. So long ago that Diego Simeone was playing for Pisa in Missil. The Milan fans are making all the noise. It's a really understood in good voice again. It's a Milan team Shibet Nori. It's the refrain. Come on, Milan, win for us. Now the old score forwards. Somebody should have controlled it, let it bounce. Be the same. So Vips is the lurch through the ball, and then he was caught by Tramoni. Those Derby within his grasp. That was a just split-second decision to let it bounce as opposed to trapping the ball. It's probably back to that 3-month ban. Away supporters does feel very unfair that the majority punished to the ill deeds of the minority. Slash skirmishes in is the city centre between 50 to 200. If that goal was draw with Verona have had the same punishment featured out. It's not that will get any comfort. To be innocent Pisa fans, those that were involved in outside. Let's switch for you. It's course condemned. Maybe sure under pressure. Welcome to Alston territory. Let's switch to it. It's rational. In the corner, pressure, felt slightest that touches from the winners, and it's up very quickly in United's favour. And it was Bogle that came out worse off in the challenge. Longstaff with the full pedestal down onto the right hand side. It went to Jared Boding for the tackle, but if anything, I thought the free kick would have gone in West Ham's favour. Hasn't it? It's gone to Leeds United, and it's taken by Bogle. Back to Roden just outside of his area, and then plus to his left, 10 yards to Biel. Back to Roda. No space to mention any further movement upfield, so must go back to Donkey, great Perry. The penalty spot. Time to take a touch, but nothing else. It's the away down back to Rodin. Now down to Jaden Bogle just by the touchline on the right hand side, deep inside his own lot. Into the middle around to Anthony. Across to Beal. Well, wait for Dublin to make his way back into the half to retrieve the ball. He's closed down Elbow and Stars on that right hand side for West Ham. Just a pass out to Beal anyway, and now to Tanaka. Across to Beal. Leeds United just maintaining the possession inside of their own half at the moment. After again gets the ball, really towards the centre circle. Very slowly, very patiently, Leeds United are making their way into West Ham's half. Now a pass to Longstaff, gets the ball eventually into the opposition mark. He's forced immediately back into his own mark. Pass now to Rodin. Now to Tanaka. Got space down that left hand side. He has got supporting Goodmanson. Plays it inside instead to Ampadu. Ampadu into West Ham's half. Takes an extra couple of touches. Surrounded by West Ham players. Now across to Longstaff. His first touch plays it just behind Tanaka. Still has to pass off to Bogle. Bogle tucked in towards the back post. And it goal was taken up by a real and nearly falls in front of the turns. And he's turned away by Brendan Aronson. Leeds United, who were forced to keep the ball inside in their own half, only get it into West Ham's half, but it takes just one attempt. Leeds United to get the lead against a very stricken West Ham United side, who failed to clear the lines. The ball over to the back post. It was Okafor's headed back across the face of goal. Ariola got down, well twitched, parried away. Go straight into the path of Aronson. Dillon was late to turn back towards the ball. And Aronson managed to convert with only goalkeeper to be from a very close range. And Leeds United have taken a 1-0 lead inside the opening 4 minutes of this game. The pass jerks and Appley just behind him. He managed to get it out to Bogle anyway. Get time to take the touch, crossing towards the back post. Powerful headed by Okafor. Is whether there was a player in an offside position now. Was Calvert-Lewin blocking the goalkeeper through stretching his left arm out. Get back to the ball after the initial battle was saved. Calvert-Lewin moves into what could be considered an offside position, as it fell to Aronson. Calvert-Lewin at a turn of Aronson having the shot interferes with the goalkeeper being able to reach out for the ball. We may well see this goal disallowed due to an offside. Oh, yeah, Bell decides to tell Stuart Outwell. He's told him that there's no interference from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Leeds United will go into the remaining 85 plus minutes of this game with a 1-0 advantage. And then Aronson's first Premier League goal in 3 years. He just signed the lead in the opening 5 minutes. And for the second time this evening, West Ham will get things back underway for us. Immediately back to Kilman. Kilman sends this deep into Leeds United's half, headed away by Diallo. Goes in for the header alongside Tanaka, and he's taking a bit of a hit in the face there. So he's doing a free kick and pulled things to a stop due to the head injury for Irvin. The physio has come on just to check that everything is okay. Taken ahead from Nuno Espirito Santo. Started this season as manager, of course, of Nottingham Forest. Been in the news quite a bit lately over managerial changes. He's yet to lose a game against Leeds United in the Premier League as a manager. All 4 occasions he's gained at least something from the fixture. But now just going through concussion protocol on the field with the physio just checking that neck movements are okay. There's nothing too concerning. Or being told whether he's able to carry on in this game. But tonight there may have just his way off or moving with an elbow, a stray elbow into the jaw. And physio will make the final decision on whether is able to carry on in this game. Just looking at the goal once again. Calvert-Lewin is clearly in an offside position, but I think it's because the ball is sent directly at the goalkeeper, and Ameola just couldn't get enough strength onto his left hand to keep the ball out. I think that's why the referee decided that the goal will stand, and of course there is James Bell. Very much the case. Now from the free kick, West Ham go back into their own half. Now to Wan-Bissaka on the left hand side. His pass is blocked. It almost falls nicely to Calvert-Lewin, but away it goes by Tadibo. To Leeds United's half again. Hit back to the right-hand side for Roland. Turns on the clearance and gets it up towards the halfway line. Then on by Calvert-Lewin. Away by Wan-Bissaka. Hit back towards the halfway line by Roland. Wan-Bissaka goes up for a header this time alongside Thomas Souček. That's a bit more communication from West Ham required at that point. Bogle was bested down the right-hand side. Pulled on the shirts on Wan-Bissaka and given a free kick to West Ham. To side of their own half. It looks like they may have changed the setup for the full-on formation. He starts at the game with already. Done to Frey at the back. It looks like perhaps Chilman, Tadibo and Wan-Bissaka have played as the three centre-backs. Youth there wide on the left-hand side and Stiles on the right. Wan-Bissaka's plays the ball down the left-hand side. The youth down to Souček. Burst up to Paqueta. Laid this ball off and Wan-Bissaka's making it run down the left-hand side. Referee's given advantage as Wan-Bissaka gets outside of the area. Pulls this back to Souček. Laid it off now for Juth. Though with a chance to get a cross in. With Juth was brought down. He's back to his feet and involved in West Ham's attack. Now they go back to Irvin. Plays this across the film at his side of the centre circle. That's through the middle for Paqueta. Paqueta turns on the ball. Can't get his pass away as we've got another moment's pause while the referee brings things to a halt with Ethan Ampadu on the ground at the moment. He did give a free kick for it. Quite sure just what happened that may have led to it. It was the referee actually that caught him in the face. It was an off-the-ball incident. Ampadu was wanting ball in Leeds United's possession as a result of it, but it's the referee's doing, so I'm not quite sure it's fair to give Leeds United possession when West Ham had it. Referee now going to drop the ball for Ethan Ampadu. And he played the ball back to Tirida. Not sure what the referees made the decision of. Pulled it back. He's told Ampadu to leave the field on the right hand side. You better wait now for the referee to call him back on. He's dropped the ball for Irvin. Irvin out to the right hand side. Somerville. Out for Souček. Why is the overlapping run for Somerville? Can you get his butt towards the middle? Yes, he can. Into the way, Jared Bowen on the overhead cape. He's punched away. In the end, Boyd Perry up to the left hand side now, and Leeds United cut away with the ball. We've come in the back there. Goodwinson wanted to carry on as he got back to his feet, but the referee pulled it back against Bowen. Overhead kick from him. It was sticking away from it from Lucas Perry, and on the second attempt, he screwed himself and punched the ball away. It was falling straight into half of Lucas Paqueta. Lovely effort from Jared Bowen. Well saved by Leeds United keeper. Leeds United falling free kick. To Dudneyson on the left hand side. But nursed it all the way back to Lucas Perry, just on the edge of his own area. Ampadu has been invited back onto the field now. It's back to 11 aside. Out to the left hand side for Goodwinson. Pressing on towards the halfway line. Bedded down by Ampadu. Back to Longstaff. Longstaff turns on the ball in the midfield area. Bogle on the right hand side. This time passing in the middle now for Ampadu, and back out to Bogle and out with Wan-Bissaka. Tries to beat his man with the run. Bogle deflects this away from him and out of play for a third on the left hand side for West Ham. On the halfway line, Wan-Bissaka will take this throw just in front of his manager. This is through the middle now for Bowen. Flicks on for Paqueta to chase, away by Roden. We're at about 15 yards further down that left hand side. All looks equal with the edge of the area now, and Wan-Bissaka slowly make the movement down that left hand side to take his throw in. Nice support around for him. The Netherlands got Irving coming close. Duke down the left hand side made a run. Paqueta's come short as well. He's United cutting out these channels. That goes towards Irving. Way it goes by Bogle down that right hand side. Calvert-Lewin is using nudge in the back and received a free kick as well. Well, next Pillman gave him the nudge in the back. With a free kick, Bogle goes back to Roden. As it goes now to Biel, side of the area. Go back to Perry. Side of the 6-yard box. Perry out to Roden again. Towards the halfway line, it takes a bounce. Calvert-Lewin can't judge it right. Needs to hit a touch on the ball, but he needs to keep it in play. Been taken by Duke. Back to Wan-Bissaka. Just played dangerously across the middle and to the right hand side for Debo. Hold on, chance side for Somerville. Somerville tries to find Bowden. Owen gets there just after Goodmanson. Pass from Goodmanson in the middle for Ampadu. Anchapogo. Chip all over the top. Longstaff's made a run into the channel line. Misaki gets the touch and goes long, suffering for the challenge as well. He's calling favourably to Ampadu. His cross comes in and it's cleared away by Tadibo. Right on the right hand side for Leeds United. I think as Rambisanko went for the slide tackle against Sean Longstaff. He kind of expected support from West Ham defence, but he's left on his own and it gives Ampadu a chance to maybe get across into the box. Third it anyway from Vogel. Those back things you're doing off the road in. That's a BL. Now Tanaka. Back it all the way back to Perry. Perry on the edge of the area. It's Calvert-Lewin. Put it away again to Debo. But down in midfield. Ampadu. Support on the left hand side. The Visuals in plenty of space. That's eventually trudged out there by Tanaka. Mishan brings this down. Goes back to his own laugh with the pass to Tanaka. It's all the way back to his goalkeeper and Perry again just outside of the area now to Bio. Down the left hand side for Goodmanson. Drags this back inside now to Tanaka. It's Calvert-Lewin. First to beat his man, but he's lost his footing on the ground and West Ham to come away with the ball now with Gilman. Going back to Areola. This ball rolled to him inside his 6-yard box. That's the pressure from the 4. Like from Areola, he's headed down. Goodmanson inside to Tanaka. Up to Goodmanson. Facing now low left hand side. Tries to dribble it in, but it's come off of Stars and it'll be a corner. The first corner of the evening for Leeds United. Out on the left hand side. Goodmanson goes over to the Leeds United. Thanks to support is behind the goal. They're on and request more motivation. For actually pressure at West Ham defence and proceed another goal. And in the forwards now for Sean Longstaff as he goes over to collect the ball for the corner. With in corner from the left hand side, right footed just on his way. Around the penalty area, players are up for your back. Wherever he's in there as it be all off comes in towards the middle. He's hit it in by Rodin into the bottom left corner. Areola left-handed and John Rodin dists himself on the score tee. Well, less than 15 minutes gone in the game here. It has been all Leeds United so far. And they're taking good on their 2 chances they've got. Joe Rodin left high from the in-swinging corner from Sean Longstaff. West Ham United just trying to search for an answer at the moment. The well-one head. I'm trying to look who he is, the marking Jared Bowen, and then it's cast on in the end. Irvin. He's moving through the middle. Andrew Irvin, as he tried to follow them player, couldn't do so. That just above, headed it past the goalkeeper at the near post. Good head, Ampadu had to score. Leeds United going up there at this point. Is the Leeds United 2, West Ham United 0. Now West Ham will get things back underway again with a pass back to Amri Marlisaka to the left hand side. Over the top it goes. Paqueta plays this down the left, but Garrett Juve, and it's going to be a throw for Leeds United on their right hand side. Bobo across to take. Was this back in Jude now for Rumden. Going all the way back to Perry. They're out to Beale. Perry gets the ball away on the left hand side. Headed on. Well, down by Calvert-Lewin. Up to Nagda. Down for up at 4. Up across the Goodwin set. Down to Okafor. But through the edge of the area. Well, plays this out by Aronson. There's some back into his own mark. Ichidi, left hand side. And for Tanaka. Side now to Bino. Bell across to Rodin. With an out to Bogle. Ball down the right hand side, so it's just for Aronson, but Wan-Bissaka's tackle is the ball out of play and it will be throwing out to West Ham on the right hand side. Taken by O'Loughlin, back to Roden again. And over to Aronson, flips this on for Calvert-Lewin to chase. Left to it, there's Wan-Bissaka. Is it back to the goalkeeper? And with Arioli inside the area. One with the clearance, and it away by Piolon. Nobody alongside him. Plenty of time to perhaps even take a touch. He's better both back to Roden this time. That's a BL. Ball back to Kerry. It goes up to the halfway line, flipped on by Calvert-Lewin. Towards the centre circle. And everybody's head clearance by Ducek. Very hesitant on taking a touch on the ball by the touchline, but Vogel takes full advantage of it. The tackle and knocks it out of play for a throw in on the left hand side. And taken by Wan-Bissaka down for G. Played by Longstaff. Adio's game down the left hand side. And again will be taken by Juve. Inside of Leeds United's half. Vito Santo doesn't look confused as to what he can do with this side. And we're struggling. We're a side that was struggling towards this side of the league table last season as well. It just seems to be something that's continued on to this season. Potentially side that has been into a fortress over the last couple of years, that if that's the defeat they've had against Tottenham Hotspur, there's defeat in 23 game Selhurst Road. That's down layoffs consecutive holiday in May 2024. Start of this game, third to the better of the two sides. As Perry is shouting towards the touchline that Westham may need to make a change or to play it down beside the area. It's just, I think, how awkward he has landed. It's pointed straight away to the shoulder. As soon as he's landed on the ground, Charles has done straight to holding his shoulder. He hasn't used it that hard since, so we've got a physio on at the moment just to check on Oliver Stiles. Still determine severity of what he's going through at the moment, but this is worth telling you that with this scoreline as it is at the moment, should it stay like this, West Ham will remain in 19th place on 4 points from the opening 9 games. We'll have a game in man, which means Sam could well finish this weekend at the bottom of the Premier League table. And Leeds United move up 3 places into 30 with this 2-0 lead. That negative goal difference, Bale, indeed to 6 points playing of relegation. It will not take long for West Ham to decide to make a change. And make sure this is going to be off change with Skulls. It's going to be a different change, but Cam Wilson, who had been moving up for the last couple of minutes, is now kitched up and ready to come on. 70 minutes left to go in the game. He just received the final instructions from his manager. Ball going on shoot the field. The start does need to go up that. Wan-Bissaka will move over to the right hand side and beautiful leaving toward the left back Oprah. Most of them, of course, without it out fighter, but the physio is still checking on Spalls, who's down on the floor. He hasn't moved his shoulders. There's both for the stretcher to come over. This is going to be injury related substitution, I think. It's Carl's. Land awkwardly on his shoulder. He's down in quite a bit of discord at the moment. Players are being called to the side for a ultra break for West Ham. The SerieA actually will be something similar. It may be due to extra instructions that have been given to the players. Of those Tanaka. Make sure that everything is okay with Charles. kept on playing right wing back. There have been 20 minutes. Just through those 20 minutes gone. Leeds United 2, West Ham United 0. Let's see, I thought Brenda Harrison and from Joe Roden. At the hosts that 2-goal lead. Thank you very much, Chizu Fashka, as your unofficial coverage of the Premier League this Friday evening. Begin your coverage not only of this game, but also the Premier League fixtures that are taking place tomorrow. That all starts at 3 o'clock with Chelsea against Sunderland, Newcastle United again it's Fulham for Manchester United take on Brighton at 5:30, and Brentford playing close to Liverpool. And of course, on Sunday, the additional 5 games, 4 of which kick off at 2 o'clock. Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Man City, Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest. A big one at the bottom end of the table between Wolves and Burnley. Everton take on Tottenham. Now, still their like-for-like change that Espirito Santo is going to make. And it is going to be Carlos on the stars up. So, change that of like to made in the circumstances. Just wants a lengthy pause. There's other games going on at the moment in the Championship. Western 0, Sheffield United 2. Big turnaround since Chris Wilder returned back to PremierLeague in charge. Sheffield United, who were bottom of the league at the time. If these 3 points will move themselves up into 19th place. 4 points clear Dopzo. Miles is back to his feet. There's no requirement. Walden, gotcha. However, the arm is in a sleeve. And Smalls is being assisted off the field. And quite a lot of pain, but he's walking off. He's not assisted by the physios. It's a round of applause from both sets of supporters as he leaves the field, and Callum Wilson will come on in his place. Scald off. Wilson on. It's been a power 6 minute delay to the game. Edge sped out. Wilson got it on at the end. Opus first off, and now into the final 20 minutes of regular time. Plus, of course, that added time that I fully expect. West Ham might have a free kick from just each side of their own half. See where we're at the time. One we see West Ham sets up in a more familiar holding up for the set piece. I'll be able to tell you just where Callum mostly gets it into his line-up for West Ham. Free kick is taken by Suchek over the top, put it away by Roden from just inside of the area. And Misaka chases this down the left-hand side, goes back to Chi. Just the middle it goes. Shoot later, Bing. See the right-hand side where Misaka had made a leap and he went to get Rao. Hit Bowen. Bowen finds the pass back to Misaka, who's the ground. Referee immediately waves away the claims of a free kick. It will be a goal kick to Leeds United. Yes, Perry stood over the goal kick. You've got Roden to his left Roden to his right and Bill to his left. Bill that takes the goal kick. West Ham lurking on the edge of the area at the moment. He's short of must Perry inside the 6-yard box. All Bill picked on by Calvert-Lewin. Wan-Bissaka is going to chase this down on the right-hand side. Tackle made by Okafor. It goes by Wan-Bissaka on the second attempt. He thinks the Leeds United's off. He all helps his back to Perry inside the 6-yard box. First time clearance of George Calvert-Lewin. Led down by Kilman. Out to the left-hand side. Now with Tanaka. Which is this across, but it's chested down by Somerville. Pulls on handball. Not given. It's Suchek. Here's the ball from Somerville. Goes back to Tadibo. Up to the right-hand side for Wan-Bissaka. Up to Tadibo. Outside West Ham are gone for a flat back 4. Wan-Bissaka has moved over to the right-hand side as suspected. Keith has moved into the left back position. Is the ball over the top, headed back by Roden. Callum Wilson nearly lashed on to the end of it, but Lucas Perry comes out to collect. Lipstack has been Wan-Bissaka on the right, Juve on the left, Tadibo and Coleman is the 2 centre back. Suchek, the name of it is the midfielders. Owen Better Somerville playing it behind Wilson. Now left the Goodmanson, chipped over the top Okafor. Olskovitz hit it touch off the ground and away and behind for a goal kick to West Ham behind chip. Milner, rush to get this over to the right hand side. Pushes the West Ham players up towards the halfway line before he takes this goal kick. Options in the opposition half at the moment. This ball deep into United territory, headed away by Ampadu, but now by Jupe on the left. He had the run there on Aronson. Some tackle, he can't then keep it in play. Back off Jupe, and it'll be a throw in now to Leeds United on the right hand side. But will be the one to take this. 6 yards still after the technical area at Ellen Road, where the management team and substitutes are currently occupying. Bogle Bells on the line, led away by G. Back to Bogle, side of his own bar. Down the right for Aronson. Aronson pulled back and contains possession inside now to Longstaff. Of course, it goes to Hill. On to the left hand side for Goodmanson. Again, Sibia. Aroda. Good in the middle of two West Ham players. Has to turn back on the ball. He's under pressure from Duquette. He has gone down, and the free kick will now be given in Leeds United's favour, just beside of the 10th circle in West Ham's half. Mitchell was giving chase there to the Leeds United defender. Won't keep up with the movement of Joe Rodit. I played to the right hand side for Bogle. Towards the Longstaff, inside now. This again. And the right hand side for Ampadu. Ampadu's first touch dispossessed by Ibn. Well adjusted tackle from Aidan Bogle, and it's underway. Allowed to play another throw into West Ham now. He fakes this, throws it down to Summerhill. Standing by Longstaff, runs the ball back for Leeds momentarily as it goes back to Juve. And to Kilman. Plus to Ariola just outside the 6 yard box. It's way to the right though. And Misaka first did beat his man, and he continues to run past Okafor. He's down the line for Bowen to chase, but he all gets there first and can assist out good news and under no pressure really. And he finds Okafor. Sinatra. And for Calvert-Lewin, he's got space down this left hand side. He has got the coach in the middle, but he's waited for more, plays it to the edge of the area, St. Goldwich, but too much under the effort. Olchinaka. Over it into the stands it goes, and it will be goal kick again to West Ham. Calvert-Lewin for absolutely nothing created something there, making that run down the left hand side. Waits at Fisher Paul, but it waited. Pass again should be edge of the area. Finished lining up the effort, which still continues to be Leeds United dominance at the moment. West Ham are really struggling to get themselves into this game. On our 30 minutes, and they should have settled down to some capacity. Longstaff takes no chances with getting the ball away first time inside of his own half. Hit it away by Hillman. To West Ham's half, those from Beal. Well, Louis going to chase this down. He's up against Tadibo. And keep this in play. Linesman says he did. He's down the Goodman. Still inside Sixadaka on the edge of the area. Plays it across for Longstaff. Lines up another shot. Instead, plays the overlapping pass to Jaden Bogle. He's dirty. Underfoot youth under pressure. Gets the ball away. But down the right hand side. Such crucial Callum Wilson. But it's only a throwing to Leeds United. Kicked by Longstaff. I think Druzo and after Rodin. All the way back to Lucas Perry. It's just play out to the left hand side now for Goodmanson. Side, Hudson after. Back to the edge of the area again with Piol. Ertzadaka again. Right for Roda. And Longstaff. And Sadaka. Back to Goodwin. Listen down the left for Okafor. And the run being made by Longstaff brings this back. A chance for Leeds to make it 3. It's an excellent block, and he's just took the sting out of the effort. Brendan Aronson making a run at the back post. There was a last-ditch challenge from Kilman. Just took the sting out of the effort, and it allows Areola to then from hold of the ball. Started his 6-yard box. And United continue to press for that Uship third goal. Early fall away. Down by Rudin at that halfway line. To Irving. Being inside the 70-circle can continue to go forward to West Ham. He rights inside now to Bowen. He's had the holding run. Sujan. Just to Kilman. Coming out left. Somerville. Little through the middle. Bits it by Paquette. Can he get the ball across the middle? Yes, he can, but he's away by Beale. Kicked down again by Somerville. Watch it out for a in the on D zone. Aaron should manage it to win on Brigade United instead on the right hand side. Followed them to pass identity. Owen down the line it goes. All the way into West Ham side. So Hansen out to play. He says it did dog in play. That will be a West Ham throw. Kicking by Philman. Goes back to Debo. Wan-Bissaka. Dunson, sharp box now with Areola. Billy Boyer, your right hand side. And space here for Taliba. The halfway line, they not back to catch it. Out the bowler. Going out to the right hand side in the chance there. The run being made. Was it inside one? And past two. Still with Jared Bowen at the moment. Through the middle for Paquette. Zephy's been bought. He's fallen back to Paquette, who makes no mistake to bring one back for West Ham United. Leeds United should have called him for offside. We'll have a look through VAR. Determined Lucas Paquette wasn't offside predicting. Wagner's now gone up. This goal may be chalked off. They'll be over to James Bell to have a look. Owen pass. Picked by Paquette. After then comes off of Irving, falls back to the catch and he scores. He's very, very close. I might get a better doing from this angle to determine if he is offside. Plays it back. Might be his hand that's keeping him offside. Just he points towards where he wants the ball. Linesby's taking his time before putting the flag up. I've heard they've drawn the goal off, but we haven't had the final word from James Bell just yet. Whether this will be a goal or not, it's definitely something West Ham needs to encourage themselves back into the game, because so far we are 35 minutes into this fixture and it has been all Leeds United. West Ham just haven't really created anything. They've not managed to get out of their own half so far. Now they will have to wait in anticipation to determine whether they even get a goal on the board. They'll be engaged to run of play. And you out while the referee just got over to Paquette. And multiple players now stood around the screen. Not sure that's something that's around. I'm sure that's around the pump. The referee will go over to have a look at the screen himself. It's him if this is offside. Where the line's going to be drawn. I think it is going to be disallowed. I think it's going to be pulled back. Left confirmation. Hopefully, in a moment's time, is the right foot of Lucas Paquette is keeping him in an offside position. So, look from James Bell to Stuart Atwell. Is he offside? It'll be a free kick to Leeds United. Just outside their 6-yard box. The free sheet stands to Lucas Berry. Troubles continue for West Ham United, but they can take some confidence that they're now getting somewhere in that final third. They are starting to break out that Leeds United defence. There's the look of despair coming from the face of the West Ham manager Nuno Espirito Santo, who Praven having the greatest of start to his career in London. The free kick will be taken by Perry, and he's taken his, I think, just inside of his 18-yard box. He's opposed to the 6-yard box where Kessel was stood offside. He's searched for Okafor on the left-hand side. It's not over him and out of play for a time, but he's in West Ham back into their own half. The Wan-Bissaka will take his throw-in. Goes down the line and away from Carried Owen into Souček. Souček followed the top. And by Fixture again. He is in the area for it. It goes away by Anthony. Ullman now for Youth on the left hand side. Ball over the top towards Fixture again. Headed away by Roden into the middle for Longstaff. Out to the left hand side, but he's giving the ball to Bowen. Bowen on the edge of the area. Brings it in for a left footed effort. Then goal, which it just rolls wide. Stand one to the corner. Referee gives a goal kick, and we've now got a Leeds player down on the grounds. Owen, but this is side and left footed after the caught. Not how Beat have liked. Just wide. The goal kick for Leeds. Help back to his feet now is Gabriel Gudlinson. With it onto his lower path. Team's absolutely fine to carry on. Yell, bridge across to take the goal pick from the side the 6-yard box. These goalkeeper choice right. Basic short down for Perry. Perry will do an actor on the edge of the area. And at this first played it back to the field. Up to Gudlinson over the top away by Wan-Bissaka. Down to the defensive facing midfield. Is out wide for Ogle. Ogle back to Perry. Calvert-Lewin puts this ball on nicely for Okafor, out to the right hand side for Aronson. Chief gets there first. Leeds United put this back to the halfway line again. That was Tanaka. Tanaka dribbles this inside. He escapes one. It's two. He's bearing down on goal on the edge of the area at the moment. He has the ball available, but West Ham are backing number onto his left ball. He can't get a shot on target. It's an awful effort. He tried to wrap his thought around the ball, did find getting to the bottom corner. In the end, they just ended up passing the ball out to play for a goal kick to West Ham. We're entering into the final 5 minutes of regular time at the end of this first half. Yeah, a little bit of one to take. Goal kick. The right hand side. Stung by Owen, away by Doug Neeson. 32 to right hand side for West Ham. Down by Wan-Bissaka. Bobin back to Wan-Bissaka. Inside to Elton again. That's to Pilman. On the side of the centre circle. Up left there's the pass to Somerville. It's there for support. Somerville instead brings this back. Comes in as a late challenge with Somerville. Not the ball too far ahead for him to stretch out for the ball, but when it goes by Roden, and we'll see a yellow card to Asensio. Somerville is the first yellow card of the evening. Just a late tackle from Somerville. The support down the left hand side for Duke. Bring it inside, and a couple of players around him at that point. A free kick to Leeds United. That's 5 minutes of regular time. Now we'll see a change for Leeds United. I think this will be a forced change as well. Robinson make it way over from the left hand side. Well down to the lower part of his back. Ampadu just he can shoot him. Now is Jaden Bogle. The referee now calling Ampadu over. Plus the captain for Leeds United. Referee going to have a word with him. Goodman said he's going to carry on playing. The referee doesn't allow him to leave the field. Not sure if the decision was to make a change or not. But Goodman said he's going to have to carry on until the very least. Ball nets go down to play. That is speaking to Goodman, almost like he's not wanting him to leave the field. He looks in a lot of discomfort at the moment, holding on to the lower part of his back. Northampton may need to make this change, but this happened. The referee doesn't seem to be aligned with the decision. Dan Goodmanson's gone down inside of the centre circle, and we'll see a bit more time off the clock, and perhaps the forced change that Leeds United have been waiting for. hold on to it though, back a bit earlier. Ball over the top down the left hand side. Team bike. Just how he's landed his back, his lower back on the boot there. Bill. He's got back to his feet, he tried to carry on, and a ball over the top down the left hand side. He didn't chase it, he played it. Shoes he played it. And fake back told it on Chewy's back. Alan noticing the saying to the referee, well, he's that bad, take him off. That's exactly what Leeds United ultimately did. If he's going to be James Justin in this place, just receiving these final instructions now from Daniel Parker. And Justin. She moved it up before signing from Leicester in August. Come on, you know, I thought James can play down that left hand side. He's versatile enough to play on the right if he, you know, to Martin Steve, so it's over at the moment. Although I thought he followed quite well out there. We consider that just yet. But a change required for either side so far to injury in this first half. Both on the same side. Consistent. When he'll go up against the substitute. But is that 101 with that the fourth look kick. Stephen A hit almost needed a second no. They are now all the way to Erin. He gets all the way from the halfway line. He takes goes all the way through. And Ario was just out now. Oh, coming back across out to Bieber. Matt McKill. Should have 5 yards before feeding a pressure from Calvert-Lewin. He goes across full to Bieber again. Over the top of those. He's done that man and started by one. Destructed, can't keep his play. As behind the goal kick to Leeds United. The last minute of regular time. Then the added time there. Maybe given just finish this first half off. I thought I haven't yet indicated how many minutes will now. Bell takes the goal kick. The Perry out to Roden. Into the area down to Fogle. Side for Tanaka. And pass over the top. And ball towards Calvert-Lewin. And way by Colner. No easy plump. And Aronson. But Amdadid. He's been out on possession to Paketa. Paketa trying all kind of footwork at the moment. You try and be Lee's attack. It's fallen to Suchep. Suchep back to Paketa. And thrown in by Rodenick. Falling on the left hand side for Somerville. But down into the area goes. If nothing given on either occasion by the referee. Like on Leeds United, good ball. I feel like West Ham to get a case for a free kick on the edge of the area. 15 minutes of a time, in case they would be given now. It would be quite a lengthy end to the first half after the injury. And they saw Keith Scars and then Goodmanson beat down and the VAR checked about as well. So 13 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. United team, West Ham, Mellon inside them Bodle. Left out the field. Then left of the Dinja. Skip. New back inside the Tanaka. Pull it back to field. He'll now Roden. Or whatever the top down the right hand side is going to be chased down by Bogle. Is it through for Aronson? Keeps this in plays up at the issue for the United. Plus in short the middle. He's taken a fortunate bounce in West Ham's favour all the way through to Areola with a long throw into the opposition half. Good down by Bowen, who's been held on to, and he's gone down. And the referee, after a slight delay, gives a free kick in West Ham's favour. The side of Leeds United's half. It's approved one of Leeds United players. He didn't hesitate before making that decision. It's Stuart Outwell. short now for Suchek. SERI. Gilbert. He sends circle those across the ball to Bieber. And Herring again. To Bieber. Now Kilman. Into the halfway line. Yeah, position now. The ball has to all the way back to goalkeeper. They'll just not specifically out further forward now. To Debo. Uche. And the Kilman. In the middle, tackles made it, gone back in midfield by Leeds United. Now Longstaff. Up to the left-hand side to the run here by up the four. Takes it into the area, runs through that play. Jeffers God falls back to him again. This time goes just wide. He played it across the face of Dolph and Ariola. I don't think would have been able to stamp it across his goal line quick enough. Goes wide now to play for a double kick to Stanley's first effort was blocked. Oh, play back to him. He can get his second on target. Built around the outside of Tadibel and get the ball away from Ariola. This dull pit. It's the halfway land and away it goes behind Diol. 2-2. Stumps off down the line from Misaka. Out inside for Stimchenk. He checked down for Stummerville. Just a beats his man. Second continues to run by just to Paqueta. Turn it around on the ball and somehow gets this away to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. On the right hand side. Has to fall with Bowen. After Wan-Bissaka again. You're up with the cross in. Inside for Somerville. And Paqueta again. Over the top and all the way through to Perry, who chest is down inside of his 6-yard box. Plenty of time. Wait for Adam Wilson to close him down before picking the ball up. It goes by Lucas Perry. All late through. All late by Wan-Bissaka. The left hand side with Justin. Back to the halfway line. To come to do. And Tanaka. Now Rodin. Bring ball over the top. Goes in towards the penalty area, but it's headed away by Wan-Bissaka. When Tanaka gets there, the head off the Kenta. On down. Put the launcher around this half area. The ball can play. Counter play by Ampadu. He's down back to his feet. Kenta is not very happy with the amount of time he spent down. Is a late tackle just onto the half of Tanaka by Paqueta. It should be a throwing to WESTHAM, but I imagine we're throwing the ball, giving the ball back in some way in Leeds United. Turn has been taken by Wan-Bissaka, goes everybody in all the way through to Hill. She back to Steve Perry, which does the left hand side. Done by Wan-Bissaka with Okafor. High tackle made by Wan-Bissaka. It falls to Tanaka with the ball between two West Ham players. He's gone down. Referee waved away. Fell in instead West Ham, but he wanted a free kick again, and it seems like players are going down a little too easy at the moment. Fine taken. It's on the right hand side by Wan-Bissaka. All the way back to the goalkeeper Periola. Wan-Bissaka into the top. Pulled down by Wilson on the edge of the area. Inside now to Bowen. Pocket and forward possession. Longstaff runs it back inside of the own area. It's out to the right hand side where Calvert-Lewin's done it. Eastbound, that's Kilman. Kilman gets a touch and gets it back to Ariola. Calvert-Lewin pressurised him. Gets the ball away. It is the first time effort in the end. Comes from Ampadu. It's the arms of Ariola. Brent Kelly shoot the ball through his chest. And so that's Suchek. That's it. Did it off the power. And then we've won massive this point. Just hope we'll look after West Ham to maybe create something. Hey, hold on. A man for Aronson. Except such loses out. That was with Irby. Having finished D-check. That's the ball inside the area. Plus the minute those two took again, but away it goes by Beal. The left with Jude. Down the line for still a real tackle made by Aronson. And it's thrown on the left-hand side now. Full way. Hit by G. And so what is it? Somerville. Tries to beat United. Pull back with ricochet off of Somerville. It will now be a throw into Leeds United on their right-hand side. The football of West Ham players will take that throw in and set it sold up. That's getting a shot away, not a goal for the end of the half. Changed the mindset and the game plan of Stan manager. Puts him down towards the side. And I don't believe play it. I thought that goes to the two players. After Chillermill. All up to the tackle in on over. Wilson keeps this in play. Away goes by Rodin. It'll be a throw on the left hand side now for West Ham. The referee dividends a goal kickers go wild for some of these decisions. Some of the officials have finally fished off. They outside for the goal, and now the goal kick has been a free kick that was slightly delayed earlier before the referee did the decision for it. The goal kick now on the left to United. The deeper carry. Inside of the 6-yard box. There it goes. All the way to Albert Lewin. The way by Suchek. Marker 4. With the top, Calvin flipped this on, but was mostly touched it under the excellent path. Where comes DeVivo. It's the ball on the right hand side. Now Suchek. Is the south left for Jude. He gets the ball under control. Side now for Keta. Now Irby. To the right hand side. For Suchek. For the last movement by Wan Misaki. Solves this by the touchline inside again Shuermi. Forward to Bowler. Bowen's cross comes in and extended goal with into the arms of Lucas Perry. He will take his time with less than 4 minutes left of the added time at the end of this first half. Holgish out left after Calvert-Lewin. Inside pass finds some space here for Longstaff. The two are right outside the Bogle. Inside one being made. Aronson. Once the overlap coming up from Bogle. Across the face of goal at Dosage. Turned behind by Areola. And into the second corner of the evening for Leeds United. This time out on the right hand side. And after the first corner, led to goal for Joe Rodin. And to extend their lead from another set piece on the right hand side. The Ashland mid corner on its way from Longstaff. Bogle lives on the edge of the area. Last time we've consumed more balls from set pieces in the Premier League so far this season. 9 in 9. And it goes towards the middle, then away by Suchek, up Keta. On the left hand side, can't beat the man now to Silverville. Although it is the halfway line. That's off in the end to Suchek. Count you. Was up towards Wilson. Ended away by Rodin, and a free kick given around the halfway line to West Ham. 1850 by Kekeksa. Referee has not had him to do so, and will pull this back. Taken again. Effects get over there. Let's go right now with Nebo. One Misaki. To the right for Belletti, beating Matt against Owen on the edge of the area. Who's right foot, can he get across the way? Distant towards the middle, headed wide by Wilson. Will be a goal kick to Leeds United, but that's exactly what we thought something had filtered in. They're looking at before chances similar to that will pull his way. In the second half. Thus, for that right hand side from Jared Bowen. Two West Ham players in the middle. Looking at least one of them to get a header on it, and Dan Burchick goalwards. Uchek was in there, as was Somerville at the back post. Up hit now for Legion Anship. The opposition marked by Lucas Perry. to the left hand side now for Somerville. Below with Jaden Bogle. Bogle have turned the ball behind. Away for a throw in on the right hand side. Hit by Chief, goes back to Kilner. Out to Nebo. To the side tackle in of course all sorts of fumbles that had him not just making it play all the way through. Okafor. It's out now from Wan-Bissaka to Juve on the left. And a touchline. On the side for Kilmer. Maybe across the middle for Wan-Bissaka. Back to the right hand side. Now back in for early. To the centre circle with the Kef. On the left hand side. Here with Kilder. On the left to be run down the left and due. He's not equal to it. There goes your half time whistle. Well, it has been action packed in the first half. Perhaps not how the two sides would have liked it. Oliver Scholes going off with a shoulder injury. Callum Wilson coming on in his place, and then it will look like an hamstring issue for Gabriel Goodwinson, and he was then substituted for Jamie Justin, and the only two changes of the first half. It's a goal done at Brendan Harrison in the opening 4 minutes of the game. The advantage then doubled. Joe Rogan headed in from as John Longstaff won it out on the left hand side, make it 2-0 to the hosts. At half time at Elland Road, Egypt. Asked about me and pulling clear at the top. He said no one's pulling clear. It's to stay calm and keep our feet on the ground. Happy thought terms to word here. The newcomers to SerieA. One Quadrado. It's broken for Traboni. The whistle's gone. It's a penalty to Peter. Quadrado has forced a mistake. And what a chance now for Chinapino side. Quadrado's shot. Caught the outstretched Methrin. Tony de Vinter. Quadrado quick to appeal. The referee to give in. Vinter's Anna by his side. Times Upep Sulthavi at your hesitation. Yeah, that was Diddle still vindicated for the way that he should have come out in the second half. Also in conversation with Matel Garrido. Reminder, it has to be a clear and obvious error for this decision to be overturned. Conversation between Matel Garrido, who's in Lisane in the VAR room. Steroni, bottom night's a good picture there, put a second office sheet washing on. Hope that this is obviously reviewed, but beyond this out, left arm to an unnatural position. It's whether catches his arm first and then his side, or there's the other way around. Bachelors, but he's a captain. So now just some additional information, trying to get a steer on which way this decision might go. Somehow has made a stand by taking the ball. The Mesh This is a miscarriage of justice. That's what they expect. The penalty you deserved. Thank you. Penalty stands. Well, it was Sola who converted Sam and Maradona, but this time it's Juan Cuadrado won the penalties to take it. Cuadrado scores for Pisa. His first goal for the club is the equaliser. That's Dan 0. And in the ripe old age of 37, Juan Cuadrado still going strong. And Pisa scored their first goal in 7 hours of football. Ball in so under Gay and his senior Italian top flight Cuadrado. He won the penalty, but his job was handled by the Inter. He took the responsibility. This is why Milan made Inter regret some of those missed opportunities in the first half. Still have Dino thankful. And Keys out the platform here. And he's sick of the big Femonese all over again for Milan. How can Milan respond there? The very equaliser. 10 out of nothing really. Speculative shot from Cuadrado handled by the Inter. There's Salanakis. Still Salanakis. Shemko was dropped and it was headed off target. Suslai and actually seems to be intimating that he did think being more ready to challenge for the Scudetto. Have a look at why the penalty was awarded. Well, Vince has his left arm out because it's actually keeping Inshallah at arm's length. Sort of distance whereby you know where the opposition striker is, but then he passed him on to his teammate. He left the arm out. That's when the shot struck his stretched up. Therefore he's saying that Milan also win the league. They need to concede lats between 20 and 25 goals. They have the second best defence in SerieA heading into tonight. 4 goals conceded is now 5. A plenty of productive kick shifts himself. You can see the score. Napoli also found the net here, albeit it's also from a penalty. Opportunity goals to be from open play. She was backed up. Most goals count to say. Ricci, Modric, Asaliao, Modric, Vitti. Oh, I'm showing for it to their seats. Santi Menes, bit quiet at the moment. Pavlovic. To be able to take the ball. Calmly got by Calabresi. Yes, so by Touré. Is pretty bit touch for a full credit back in. You think to Milan is still. It's your time to salvage this result. Spot of half an hour to score a winning goal. Trail is here in Zena. Alba scored twice. Second of which was a penalty. Don't have things all their own way. That's us of the league season. They're swatting away a lot of statistics that the enthusiastic media were putting through them. on the second previous occasions when two in the face has taken 16 points in the first 7 matches. They've always drawn, so in the league that was Juventus side. Rafael lays on Calabresi. He out with the cross. This is Baktuzagi. Modric. Ika Modric. Bofada is Rafael's caught the crossbar. Nearly another brace in front. They should have been. After Leon from Sofana, shades of his assist for Pulisic here against Napoli. This starter out is the favorite to goal, which denies Rafael actually sit the one between the legs of Calacciolo. Schenter wasn't getting there. Yeah, surely thought he'd scored again. Up away from Sananak. There's Tamari is looking the other way, and here's Sotana. Fouled by Achim Saniro. Being out 3J. I believe Modric. That number was good to the late being certainly about 16 points. He said 16 points aren't even enough to get you a division. First target was to get to 4-2. Clancy seems to be just choking with the media. Consistently said 70 to 75 points to finish in the top 4. Those having been there and done it over 70 years. The averages you need in terms of goals conceded to win the league, in terms of the points tally to qualify for the Champions League. It is a pathos of these Contrados Demosi. Taken short by Modric. That's Duzaki through the crowd. 70 patches at first, the second time they've stepped out about Duzaki to the set piece. Solo comes to the crowd for Calabresi. Fischer. Achim Saniro. His spine Porterado. Outside all needed. Let him turn. Optics on the ball. Public Jao. Meow support for him. Abdovich carrying it a long way. The good ball to Sadamakus. Finished back to his end. Quadrado. Vici. Helped you shoot. Vici does shoot it. Quadrado hold himself in the way. He's now hurts himself in the process. Another head injury. Not under no obligation. But the Vinces put it out. That's for the annoyance of Modric. You've seen plenty of Quadrado in the pass. Also, it doesn't take a great deal. He said it tumbling, but Perry feels he was winded there. Well, maybe Richie just ended up ampling on his stomach. Just grazed his sigh, I think, this starts. Nutepche, of course. Don't panic, Nina. Yes, although they're a long way from winning this game, long way from even getting a point at this stage. Despite it being one each. Also still against the Tuscan side. Saw that just moments to go, and Shepko was beaten by a BR shot and full of hostile. Inanto has many players to turn to on the bench. Christopher and Kunku is one. And Gordy would be the Battle replacement on Saul Quadrado. And they won't want to take him off. And they really fought him out at half time. Haven't seen him. Essentially injury, equaliser over his own accord. Sot off the hands of Devinsa. Once the penalty was given, Quadrado said, "That's mine." The piece are temporarily down its head. I don't think the ball was starting to play. This whole Italiano has to come in. This whole Italiano out. Vincent feels making Rich Chichi now. Hit up Pino's side. How we jam you. Waters. Sananakus. Sofana. Sananakus again. The Torna. So yes, some knowledge from San Siro. Sorel and Moreo are scripts are ready to go to Thesa. Do more changes up away for the looks of things. They already made 2 substitutions at half time. Yeah. Then seen by Batuzaki. Gapia. Pushed away by Champagne. Al-Salanacha. And it's saved from Champagne. Riyad hits him at Belgium. Tommy Sully, 35 yards. He had 2 opportunities there. Gapia's header pushed away. It's a relatively simple stop. This was a super save.
Welcome to our audio commentary.
Being to get that underway in the second half. The Yates will get things underway for us as it does that Outland to do up to the left hand side. It could be wide. Wan-Bissaka plays this back to Debo on the line. Sheet by Misaka, but in comes Souček. He's trying his way through and a free kick to WESTHAM inside their own half. One shaded made at the break, and that is the in good church Harrison on for upper fault on the left hand side for Leeds United for 1 point. At break. Just to let you know what the lineup said in the second half. There have been a couple of changes at the first half as well. Lucas Perry in goal. Yall rolled in at Bundle, Longstaff, Anthony Tanaka, Campbell Lewin, Harrison, Justin and Harrison, Leeds United. West Ham is Ariola, Kilman at Tadibo, Wan-Bissaka, Souček, Irving, Dew, Somerville, Lucas Paqueta, Ellis, Garrett, Owen, and Cameron Wilson was to change with Cameron Wilson coming in for Oliver Scholes. And Goodmanson off for Justin in the first half, and Harrison on for up to 4. That's the break. Eric's West Ham inside their own half. Hold it on, see possession out to the right hand side to Pelham, but he can't get the ball under control. We'll go on to play for a third. One did it up. Put away. I'm moving. Tries to scoop the ball away, but it's only towards Jared Bralin on the edge of the area. It takes it in with the temple made by Yall, and it's a throw in on the right hand side now for West Ham. And Misaka throws it back towards the halfway line for Luca Paqueta. Throws in it towards the middle, and you're away by Bogle. Done by Albert Lewin with on the left hand side. Duke now Paqueta. After Ballon, but it's dispute for Souček to chase. Souček gets the better into the area, but the referee gives a free kick, saying the out here called back on the shirt of Ethan Ampadu. There'll be a free kick to Leeds United. That's a very marked decision on some Stuart Atwell. The area taken by Lucas Perry. Goes towards Carwell Lewitt. And away by Suche. Put down by Anthony to his goalkeeper and youth area just outside of the area. To the left now for Bill. He now thought Justin. Talbot Louis out and Marison. Fulham continues to run. Through the middle it goes though. Went those up. Fourth side against Aronson. He tiptoeing that line and eventually moved back into an onside position. With Debo. Ball to Suchet. With Debo again. Way back. Barriolo under pressure. He only just gets the ball away before Alan Lewin gets there. Headed down though by Justin on the left hand side. Now with Longstaff. That's it Ampadu again. Into John North to Beal. The left hand side for Justin in and Beal once more. Right to Roden on the right. Coming through the middle. First touch plays this off. Just kept in play by Aronson. It takes a deflection now that right hand side. Going to be chased down now by Coleman. Gets it back to his goalkeepers. Calvin Lee continues. First plus to face the goal. Away it goes by Ariola. Towards the halfway line. Go down again by Roden. Down to Beal. Left it Justin. In the middle. What's an actor? Up to Justin. Further back now for Beal. To the middle for Inaka just behind Justin. It can't readjust. Be a throw in on the right hand side. For West Ham deep inside the Leeds United's half. Just left been said at last time by Espirito Santo, looking for his first win as West Ham United manager. Was just introduced by Nottingham Forest earlier on in the season. New Premier League experience, the success he had with Forest last season. It's time to get these altered. West Ham. He's done returning today, so in this game, nearly in 5 minutes, West Ham have stepped things up a little bit, but what Matt's been doing is basically stopping the Leeds United from creating anything. They're not doing anything themselves just yet, as still want to have to throw it on the left hand side. Angel Longstaff. It looks up to Calvert into chase. Away it goes by the Debo. Be a throw in. Doing something. Set it Valerian. On the left hand side again. It just it. So knobs 8. And so is showing instructions. Down to Anthony. The left hand side for Beal. Through the middle. What's an actor? So that's a Roden. Brodel. That's a Longstaff. Up and side it in. Right hand side to Brodel. Well, that's a Longstaff. Buckway gives a free kick to Leeds United just beside of their own now. Out of play of Irving Bowler. It was late. The tackle, said the referee. And Bowler over the top to Calvert Lewin. Headed away to Devo. And all the way back to his goalkeeper. Ariola's first time turning to get up towards the halfway line again. It's on George Wilson, who's been grabbed down and he's doing nothing for it. Longstaff controls possession in the halfway line. Up to the right hand side again, further down the line. Phil has to come across and gets there. There's a net of Aronson. Aronson blocks the clearance. He's actually about to back off the left leg of Coleman, and it'll be a throw in. Will equal the Sip Sharp box on the right hand side for Leeds United. Taken by Bodle to Aronson, back to Bodle again. It's convinced Washbill. Held on to by Bowler inside 6-yard box. He's the instructions of where he wants his defenders. To the then side. Stand towards Owen. Just to get there is Justin, and then goes for third on the right hand side. Sample will take this going further down the line. Booked on his side by Owen. And Wilson again being held on to, so now it's his side. Throw it. Blue. And there is the ball. Shaved back off his face. Nixon Nolan balls. There being your each side with the check it. Up to the halfway line. To Devo. And to Pillman. The left hand side of you. Give the side for Irving. Back to you. Irving continues. He went to the middle. The tap was made by Anthony Irving. Still thumbed away with the ball out. He did that. Getting down to Uche. And on Somerville. And Los goes control. Just getting the ball away from his United's defenders. But has to go back towards Stone Marfin doing so. And G. Ethan Mann, safely deflects Jim Knowles down the line. The shit off doing corner flag, and he stayed in play. They switched some of it at the moment. Pulls it back inside. Bogle gets the tackle out to G. Pushed away in the end by Perry. He's never got out for a corner, but away it goes by Bogle. Leeds United get a throw in on the left hand side. He goes up towards the halfway line in the tackle. In Harrison and he under Saka. On any United failure. Put away by Bogle though. That's the issues down a momentary pause at the moment while he speaks to Jared Bowen. If the voice in his pleasure, and Jared Bowen is trying to calm his teammate down. Gets it still done over to the referee. He's still not happy that the referee's deciphered by the referee saying to Jared Bowen, probably felt needed to be said. If United have a Bowen and he had to do this third yellow card, defeated, false bubble. That did a very vocal play. You're around the midfield area between Amplu and the on-staff. Wins the ball back. Amplu fifth serve. It is picked to left area inside the centre circle side of the United's bar. Hit by Suchet, the right hand side. Bandish Sackett, made by Powell Wilson, takes this ball up to quarter flag. Nelson goes into the tackle of his throw-in. The up for soft for Wan-Bissaka. A short to Bowen and back to Wan-Bissaka. Comes to Debo. What's that all colours saying now? And then out to the left-hand side, tackle made by Bogle, and Bogle comes away with the ball now to Aronson. There's a run through the middle being made by Found up Levin. He's held onto the ball well, but Pillar wins it back. Up to the left-hand side now for himself by G. Now Aronson gets it back on the right-hand side, takes it towards the corner flag. Can he get it passing towards the middle? It's gone off the heel of Dominic Calder-Lewin. He's never going to test the keeper. It will be a West-Ham goal kick. That will be taken by Viola. In instead of now with protected, and he's absolutely furious that the referee was in. There was a Dutch to have given the throwing away. Because he made his feeling very clear to the referee. He's pulled over Jared Bowen and explained his side of things, and should a yellow card to the referee now on the lawn, and that's very careful. Okay, fine. Hurry over up to Debo. I'm inside for Suchet. Suchet inside of the centre circle of his own mob. Give us into Leeds United's up. Out to the left-hand side, finds some space here for Juve. Juve keeps this in play. And the left-hand side is up against Bogle. Has to be his man. Thus comes in, headed away by Roden as far as the edge of the area. Thus comes back in towards the back post. It's called by Lucas Perry. Then rolls on to the ball. Will not be in a rush. Get this ball out of his possession. Usually it does if the referee continues his countdown under the new rules. Then out to the left hand side. Oh geez, now this another. That's the catch. The halfway line on the line at the moment. It goes back into his own half of the pass to Kilner. Coming out right. Owen comes short. We'll score there with from Misaka. Again, she could better. Misaka still to the right hand side. Instead, give this to shoot. Check with flash to Philip Somerville. Fish read well by Leeds United defensively in a way they go with Harrison up towards the halfway line. Can dribble this through the middle. Harrison's not to put either side. Bears down on goal. Exit to the edge of the area. Can he get his sucked away? Takes it. He put him. Here's the crossbar and goes over. There'll be a corner to Leeds United. He deserved the goal. Picking the ball up on the edge of the area, beating it by cheerleading side of two West Ham United players, then driving forward towards West Ham half. Made get away from the catcher, then from Zucek. Head down to the edge of the area. That was eventually when he got closed down. The ball took and he pledged it over the top of Areola. They hit the top of the crossbar, and it is behind the Leeds United corner on the right hand side. Stanwood pushing back in numbers. Played up from the bucket, and Ronan and Beadle make their way into the area out. I mean, pulled it out from Longstaff. Put the penalty area, fed away by Suchek on the edge of the area. But it's taken by Bogle, send your shot forward. She's taping a block. And he kept in play. The catcher does keep it in play. It's towards the corner flag. He's tripped. Referee is looking for it. He's trying to get back up, and he still goes back down. Wants to throw it if not a free kick. Harrison goes across to take the Owen. Arnby's giving it a bird in Leeds United's favour, but the referee is giving it a free kick in West Ham United's favour. And the Saka does the toss to take it. And the corner flag. Leeds United just down in at the moment. He bound the line, he was headed away by Justin to Longstaff. Longstaff passing side, he's just Des Wilson fight to let him run. A forward ball it is. All the way through. To SERI. But it's to the edge of the area before passing this out line. That's on Robertson. Dinello for Anthony. Down wide for Roden again now for Boble. Roden inside he goes. Big go. As comes to the left hand side, he'd just been behind. Not adjusted, he has to go back to get the ball, does so. Down to Nanka to Odo. Now Aronson. Owen made the run, he's on the edge of the area, gets the ball, is up against Debo at the moment, now Bogle. Down to Napkin. With support available around it. In pull back for Anthony. Must have launched that line to the shot, send it goal with the poor Manuel. In goal by Areola. And he parried the ball, delighting the pressure there from Barrison. And all that deep. Oh. The left hand side, 50. But still. Yeah, it's Liebert. One will set there, City. Right hand side is Tedibo goes through the middle. If that run all the way through to Lucas Perry. It's a touch the side of the area. Tedibo's now down at the moment. The non-Philly ankle. It challenged came his way. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Stammeron scores while he's being checked on by Aaron Nandesante. I will look at TV at sort of see them referee. No booking given. It's West Ham prepare for another change in Matthews Fernandez. Well, in a moment of time, it's a place this pass. Now, all killed. Update dude. Decide to Suchet. And choose it and all. Lots of those now for Tadibo. Just outside of the centre circle, back to Kilman. Now Suchek, Kenta. Suchek, Lamisaka's making the run. It's through the middle for Jared Bowen. And Puketa again out to the left hand side. There's plenty of space here for you. Puketa in the box it goes. The next quarter, no, by Lucas Perry again. A pop into his arms. He's surrounding the area. If time as they cancel out. Changes expected in just a moment. We'll see Evan leave the field. Also, one of the chief players coming on. And out to left hand side. You think I to the road with Parachute. As who plays the shot to Pablo Luis. Well, they're both three West Ham players. And down, it's free pick. Instead, it's going to be a foul. Now we'll see those two changes for West Ham. And Souček and Irving are the two that are going to be substituted. Is one of those that will be coming on. Matheus Fernandes will be the other. Oh, few changes made. Full changes now made. Leeds United will not up change it thrown state and now the line by one Mistake. Volunteers on the ball, inside he goes to Puketa. On gets the ball back in chase, he found the right hand side and he tackled by fall back to Bowen again on the edge of the area. Pulls this across to the edge of the area for St. Alwyn's block towards the halfway line. Now in the midfield with Fernandes. To those to calls. Up to Fernandes, I want for Jared Bowen. Just inside. And it's up by Puketa, ball down by Bowen again on the edge of the area, just tries to get all of his pedestrian energy, visit it past the edge of the area, but Rowley's tackle, music back for Leeds. On the left hand side, and back by Wan-Bissaka at the touchline. It's a through the middle to Puketa. Puketa tries to get it through for Alan Lawson. He's going to chase this down. He's in an onside position. Flag stays down, but it's a great tackle in the end by Biel. It'll be the first corner of the evening for West Ham United. On the right hand side, it's now thinking about Matheus Fernandes. Then in the way, at the near post by Aronson. Closed down now by Youth. Or Wan-Bissaka each side of the centre circle. Is this across to the left hand side? And with Puketa. Cross through the middle to Youth. And centre circle again holds on for possession. Youth does spin side. Killen. Now Puketa. Into switches this back across now with Wan-Bissaka. Ball to the left hand side, plays this downward to Upverdish thought O.D. Somerville. But ball to Debo again. Looking at top. Pulled down by Wilson. And Bowen. Up by touchdown wide. And Puketa. And Fernandes back to Puketa. Back to goal. That's across to Fernandes, who wouldn't be back his side. Pichet off of Purdue. A free kick's being given to West Ham. Catcher was pulled down. He played this to Fernandes, and then out to Wan-Bissaka. Fernandes again. Middle. Not upside. There it is. Hold by Childen. Left hand side now with Somerville. No tricks, nothing. High for G. Somerville again. Followed by him and by Fernandes and Puketa. This up into the right hand side, gets this on the edge of the area. Can it be Ignatic got Bowen? He can pull. He hits the bell and Bowen finds Ivkovic in. Pass for Wan-Bissaka to leap onto it. The ball goes away by Jack Harrison. And that left hand side, Calvert-Lewin's better chase it. The ball's put beyond doubt. Out of play into the stadium by Tadivo. And the left hand side now for the Giants as you reach the 20-minute mark. Stops the game. This change is being made by West Ham United. It's really time to get something out of this game. If United seems to be holding on as it stands at the moment. And James Justin. It's a Harrison, but to Justin. Tanak is just ahead of him and away it goes by Tavibo. It's a long ball over his area. Dangerous it to get through the ball, but he's it and had to. The throw into WESTHAM on the left-hand side now. With Youth. Was just back. And killed it. Diba. Inside of his own mark. And Bissaka. And on the right-hand side. It's a Paqueta. It's by the top time, finds a run down the line for Cameron Cullen, but again, a little to it is Yall that he gets the ball out for a throw in to WESTHAM, but it's danger averted for now. Went down to Wan-Bissaka. It is back towards the halfway line with Fernandez. Now Kilman. Up the Jude. Who's it back? Somerville. Now Paqueta. And Tadibo. And Wan-Bissaka. Key side again. It's over to the left-hand side by Fernandez. Which pass is blocked, and it's going to be a throw again from equal to the edge of the area on the left-hand side for WESTHAM. Well, the first half was dominated by Leeds United. So far in this second half, it has been all WESTHAM. Even more so since the last two changes. Watson Fernandez, he really changed the in which WESTHAM are controlled in this game. But though they need half, that in terms of the get to be dealt with well by SERI at the moment. He's definitely been in his ways his second half. Out to the left-hand side with Hughes. Cross comes in towards the middle. He's headed away just before he gets to Wilson. And as far as the edge of the area now with Somerville. Out the Paqueta. So goes to Fernandez. Now with Paqueta again. He's got Wan-Bissaka out to the right-hand side. To use the drive forward. Now to Wan-Bissaka anyway. Back from Fernandez. Side for Koch. This is tackled and away comes Calvin Lewin. The referee now brings it back as a free kick for WESTHAM on the edge of the area. A very dangerous position. Chance for the visitors to get themselves on the score sheet. That over this. It's an Archie's Fernandez and Lucas Paqueta. Who it is that decides to step up and the effort goalwards. I'm not quite sure yet. A group of SERI is organising his ball. He's got two players in it. Land a foul. 50 yards out. Confident. This is shooting distance. Fernandez gets the cross in, but it's lifted over everybody. For a goal kick. Taken by Lucas Perry, and he's not in a rush to do so. The United make changes of their own. See the departure of Chinarton. This place we will now through middle. Chinarton back in the starting lineup this evening. 1 minute run out before Leo Purev comes on in his place. And it's sure up his 3 points. They're not those 3 points at the beat as well. The final 20 minutes away goes by Ariola. By Perry outlet. In the way by Wan-Bissaka. Regarding midfield by Purev, we'll see an immediate interrupted into the game for him. He goes back to Bill all the way back to Perry. Sam to take the touch. The distributing this over the top of all WESTHAM players. Albert Nguyen gets there to bring the ball down, but they pulled right by Tadibo. It's the right-hand side for Wan-Bissaka. Ball's it by upstart now, Paqueta. That's just through to Boland. I think a 50-50 challenge with Biel, and Biel comes away with the ball. To the left-hand side to Justin. Justin don't look down the line to be by Carl Lewin again, but by Chilton all the way back to Ariola. Elder plays this out now for Tadibo. Make his way up towards the halfway line. Enough space and time to do so. It's out wide to find Misaka, but Tadibo now. Boys under pressure inside for Paqueta, and that's Tadibo. Tadibo through your middle Steve Pilner. Now Nando. Get left hand side. Jude. Now Cards. Was to Debo. You'll be off position mark now. One Bissaka. Debo. Right hand side for Bowen. The tackle's made there by and Justin. He's tried it all the way back to his goalkeeper. This ball and into left hand side again. But the thing has been the ball spot this second half. I think the Leeds are finished. We're still looking on the left hand side. You need that search down the left hand side. He up the bench. Although he's led into the tackle with Longstaff, both have come off with a bit of a no. Watching Jaden Bogle pull away is he waved any sort of claims for a free kick away. Up pass now made by Biol to the left hand side for Justin. It's done back by Wan-Bissaka. Hit through the middle and back down the right side side. Wan-Bissaka gets his puts into the middle and he's flipped by Wilson into the far corner, but it's held on to by Berry. Pulls this out to the right hand side now for Bogle. Out to Aronson. Aronson into West Ham South, and now Leeds will try and hold on to possession for a while. Side plus to Ankadu. You're sent to circle at the moment. At right again. Out with Harrison. Double there to his right for support. His left lead Longstaff. This goes in towards the middle. It's a diving header. So if it was necessary that a diving header was required by Dominic Calvillo, he probably got a better shot away with his foot and done so. It was so close to the ground. Probably bobbled up. Probably sent him to the under. Oriola pulled out there onto Wan-Bissaka. I'm seeing Fernandez. Seems side of more support, but he's under pressure at the moment. He eventually has to pass off to Tadebo. Wan-Bissaka still down the right hand side. Good in the middle for Bowen. Tackle's made there in the end by Diallo over the top of Calvert-Lewin to chase on the left hand side. Takes it to the edge of the area. Goes down by Tadebo. That's the ball going in. And she does pass off to Harrison. Down the edge of the area. Now to Juffian. Back to Harrison. Goes back from the halfway line beneath Namfield. And H90 game controlled in. Where this game's going to go. Down the line pass with Harrison. But just to the right for the crossing towards Calvert-Lewin. Headed away. Right to the boat. First at Piper Ketchup beats his man and then he's pulled back. It will be a free kick to West Ham. We'll see a yellow card issued to Grueff. Substitute. Pull back on the shirt. Says he tried to kind of counter attack. The blade foul. That's cool, I think, is the word they've used to describe those sort of challenges. Yeah, Grueff in the ball. And to Wan-Bissaka. And it took time. Wan-Bissaka goes back to the little house of Pill. From it inside. Top. I'm going to top. The right hand side finds space here for Bevel. Into the middle for Protector. Back to Bowen again on the edge of the area. Bring this down nicely. That's the poor available. I'm sure he's like folks down the edge of the area. Can he get a pass in? No, he can't. He could with it inside. It's full off James Justin. West Ham will have another corner on the right hand side. We're entering into the last 10 minutes of the game. West Ham desperately need to get themselves on the score sheet if they're going to try and put some pressure on the Leeds United side. Is in the middle. If they didn't have Wilson, they didn't have. Seen it there as well. Up the back is Tebow and Kilner. Didn't swing that. The right hand side, headed away by Roden. On the edge of the area. 100 the shot goes over into the stand. There'll be a goal to Leeds United. Taking his time to do so is going to be Lucas Perry. We'll see the final two tailored now for West Ham United. The last all of the dice for Espirito Santos, and it is Kyle Walker-Peters on for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. The other change is going to see the departure of Crescencia Somerville. He's been quite energetic but and forth the West Ham to do anything with it. Blue plays behind the gap there. I got that change on that left hand side. You can do the same for the right hand side of defence with old Walker Peters coming on. All Wembley second. And another player who's shown quite a lot of energy down that right hand side. Just and for all his support for Jared Bowen. Now it's given Walker Peters the fresh legs. Thanks up to do the same, and will be expected to support down that right hand side while West Ham and continue to dominate at least the possession aspect. Old Pete, he's taking it, comes all the way back to SERI. This time he gets the clearance over the West Ham defenders, and Harrison's chasing this down. If it comes off the head of Ox. They throw it on the left hand side for Leeds United. This one is James Piston. Take in lifts it all. Now officially into the final 10 minutes of regular time. That's it. It is much added time into this thing as there was at the end of first half. Trying to road mark at the moment of Leeds United. All over the top. It's on. I am pity. George Calvert-Lewin, but away it goes by Tedido again. On to the left hand side now with G. Turns back on the ball and passes this inside. Bounders Agasson to the kind of fun Jared Bowen, trying to bring him more into the game. They know that he's quite thinking of him for them. Playmaker, if you will, but give him into the game. They're taken by Walker Peters, goes back to Slido. It's now to Kilman. Coming inside is Toledo, big centre circle. Little layer those are Dio. Go back into West Ham. The ascendancy and Callum Williams, his trick this time. And Dio. A free kick to West Ham United, again in a dangerous position. He's doing about 35 yards out, one play that in the wall at the request of Lucas Perry this time around. There's Etta and Fernandez in doing so. Walker Peters, actually his right hand side, 2-3 left. Plays the ball into the area, it'll off the ball into the area and headed away by Bogle. The edge of the area still with West Ham at the moment in the Senisi from me. That is United defence, and you've touched the big man. We say the announcer played. It'll be a United throw. That lights inside Jaden Bogle across the tape. And absolutely no enough to do so. Possible one throw down that right hand side. And passes. Very sick. The back to it is that those 3-2. Albert Lewin. You done somebody challenge with Tadibo. Pillman. Walker Peters. And Tipsland back inside and Tadibo. Owen none of Danster. It's a fault. Now Fernandez. Live just behind you. Jared Bowen and a throw into Leeds United. And he should back to West Ham. That control of possession. It seemed like started to use some of that momentum, that confidence they were starting to build in this second half. This has never really done them any favours. They won just bench Jared Bowen when yards behind in a misplaced. Actually did make it easier for Leeds to build with the bench division. Not very great there. You can attack themselves. Alfred Youth on the edge of the area. Effort to his turn behind. There will be a corner now out on the left hand side. Across those. Jessup to take this. It'll be out swinging corner on its way. I think it's gentle with the referee. Referee's done and he has to move this into the off circle that surrounds border area where he takes this. So instead he left the ball to Matthews Fernandez, who will do a right of the swinging corner instead. Referee will again go over and check where the ball has been placed. So he's sure it is in the right position. Now Fernandez will be allowed to take this thing should be in corner. A bit of a delay there. Draws the penalty spot. Move it away towards the halfway line to be chased down by Walker Peters. And Dusty. Now to the right hand side, Keta. Outside of the boot. Ball down the line for Bowen. By Biel. Towards Calvert-Lewin. He had he can play in the end for Nagasta. To the left hand side. To Fernandez. This is a free sign for Keta. Back to Fernandez again on the edge of the area. Lines up his shot. Takes a deflection. If he's going to try and keep that in play. Thanks, Goodall. Stayed and you've not done so, and it will be a corner to West Ham, a full corner of the evening. The other part will now be given to Lucas Perry. All these efforts in kicking the ball away. He sort of kept it in play. We call Matthijs Fernandez across the take again. On your right hand side, inspired that he's West Ham really to get themselves a goal if they are those to take this down to the wire. Towards the near post of the 6-yard box. Headed away by Bogle. Walker beats it. Back over to Fernandez. Chest this down and beats his man. Out through to Paqueta. East side of the area. Paqueta has to turn back. They can't get across him first time I'm asking. Harrison's up against him at the moment. And Harrison wins it back to lead. There's the clearance in there. But it's only as far as the edge of the area. Cut falls back in from Magata. Headed away. Again to as far as the edge of the area. And with Jude. And Potts. Far left hand side. The back for Jude. Thus comes in again and it's headed away. I am to do. Begin to. It's under pressure from Harrison. It's won back by Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin continues that run down the right hand side. Tackles made. He wants a free kick. Referee does nothing. So it's hit back through street. But West Ham go away with the ball anyway. He gives Kilman. Now to Walker Peters. And then right for Jared Bowen. Peters then joys. Overlap him, run it out. As the ball to be played back to Debo. Cross comes in towards the middle. It's rated everybody. It is with Bogo on the right hand side now for Leeds. He gets the clearance away. It could have bounced in West Ham's off and goes out to play for a throw in. And we'll see the final 2 changes for Leeds United now. I will see Dominic Calvert-Lewin at substitution, and on in his place will be Mecca, and James is coming on as well for Brendan Harrison. Self on the score sheet in the opening 4 minutes, and just attempt to try and see this game through. Changes made by both sides now as we enter into these final 4 minutes. So he added time given on the back of a little bit more work left to do for Leeds United. That phone taken by Jeep, heading to his own half now for Keta. Left hand side away by Oval. Towards and James, but it's won back by G to Debo. Now Kilman. He's got Walker Peters to his right. Then chooses to go over the top. And he chased down by Callum Lawson. Getting it out of play. He's going to do deal. We'll get ball pick now. To Leeds United. Bill down at the moment, just holding onto the back of his head. He's off the field. Play. Wilson also holding onto his head. I believe that might have just been a collision between the two. Neil Parker just doing the description maybe once he boys try and see this screen. As you know, Espirito Santo up to do. Yes, any sort of points on the board. If West Ham. This search of his first win, he's taken over. side very much up against it. A lot of people favoured them. It is a side that breaks the up with the amount of teams that have gone right back down to the first time of basket over the last 3 and 4 years. May have expected any is something that do the same this year. You got the Lord's perfect. West Ham be the ones to set that streak. West Ham, they haven't really shown any indication otherwise. As the 38 United performance from back to front into the final 30 seconds as free kicks won by UEFA. And a touch time on the left hand side. Gets away whilst Conley's in just a free kick. When we took at those away by Suchep at towards the halfway line. Now with Fox. A Jew. Middle for Nanda. The right hand side to the Lord for Peter. Back enjoys their own mark now. With Fox. Up out to the left, new few. Then on the line. On the gas. Gassett to Bowen. Bowen onto his left foot. He's to line up the shot. Cuff comes in. Finch on by Fernandez into the far post. And West Ham have got themselves on this score sheet with the final minutes left of the game. What comes in from Jared Bowen. He's freaked on by Matthews Fernandez into the far corner. As much he did for himself across the face of goal from Lucas Perry, he couldn't get enough on it to keep it out. West Ham have a lifeline. Definitely entering to added time at the end of this game. He's definitely on side. Actually got himself and placed himself positional wise very well between Rodin and Beal. Flipped on into the far corner. And here's your goal to avoid just by be somebody on there to apply a bit of additional pressure. 4 minutes left to go. Leeds United will get things back in the way forward. Immediately over the top to Areola. Areola gets this ball out now to Walker Peters. Peters is in the middle. G who brings this back. Box. Instead of crossing to the box away, that was by Baldil. Fed away by Longstaff. And Areola just outside of his area. Plays this short. And chips at Ebo. Tries to kill them. Coming through the middle for Fox. Out to Bowen. Rolled across. Shoulder. All about this side. Fernando. He's in towards the middle. And it is caught by Lucas Perry. Both down, holding on to the ball, well, achieving it into 4 minutes of added time. They had a little bit more on there, just sign of West Ham's goal. Gets to it more than the 4 minutes allocated. It goes towards the Mechanic. If you can't get to the ball, a couple of bounces going out to play for throwing to West Ham. If it was pulled back and given a free kick to Leeds United, we'll see. I nearly had a card in issue here. This one is going to go. Machine player Tedida. Throwing the ball away. We switched to the referee's decision. Leeds United players in opposition half happy. Yes. Holland's possession. He wasted a bit more time into the final minute of the time now. Will drop pan. Harris City stood over the free kick and there's nobody else around it. There's only the short Alston for him. Hold it down the line. If you can't get there, away does by Walker Peters. Down that right hand side, inside now to Bowen. Back to Walker Peters. The keeper's in play. Into the middle there goes Otzi. Brought down. There's going to be a free kick to West Ham inside of their own bar. Perhaps the last chance to get something out of the game. If they can do so, a yellow card goes to James Justin. Bench. Everybody back now for Leeds United. Play forward for West Ham. Forward between Owen and Walker beat us. Not sure if it was the late tackle or Walker beating. They had the free kick or the late tackle. And Jared Butler. Either way, it is a free kick to West Ham. It's the side of their own half. Very high line being played by Leeds United at the moment. It's short. He goes to Duquette. Gauge a few yards on it. Duquette's cross goes, reaches the edge of the area. Is headed away. Falls to Bowen. Bowen out to the left-hand side. Big pass comes in. It goes back to his left back Duke. Pass in towards the middle and away and goes back to the right-hand side. But we'll target away with it further. He bundled down and the referee gives the free kick. United's favour, just on the edge of the area, and that might spell the last chance of this game. Coming up to the 5th minute of the 4 minutes allocated. It looks almost certain that it will be 3 points in favour of Leeds United. We'll wait for this free kick to be taken. I feel like this might just be the end of it. Dick Perry stood over the ball. Both coming from Leeds United supporters, and as the free kick is taken, the full-time whistle goes. Leeds United move into 13th place in the Premier League, extend that advantage away from relegation to 6 points. It's no disappointment for West Ham and the travelling supporters from the west of London to the south of Yorkshire. They're in 19th place at the moment in the Premier League. Cheap Boys Borough of Wolves, who still have, of course, a game to play. It is them more in football. Nuno Espirito Santo continues for his first win in charge of West Ham United. Daniel Parker's side, though, look more confident and much more inspired performance. It has finished there at Ellen Road. Leeds United. you